Well, welcome to your weekly dose of Dosa. We are obviously alive.
We are alive, just
after our shit film that we made. If you didn't realise it was intentionally meant to be bad, we will one day be doing an actual decent one, but we don't know when. Maybe next Halloween.
See, if anyone that watches actually thought it was real, then we must have done a good job. And also,
job, I know that.
You're slightly gullible, and I am not possessed by Matt's evil spirit. So we thought this week we'd start at the beginning, and we're going to talk about origins.
Yeah.
With me, Michael Whittle.
And me, Eddie Stone.
The sort of inspiration behind the story was the news that Ridley Scott is supposedly going to announce who created the Xenomorphs.
The one thing that's annoying me mainly about this is the whole thing of firstly it's putting Neil Blomkamp's film on hold.
Which is the main thing that I'm annoyed about. I love Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
2.
District 9.
Then 2. B.
Then 2.
I love Alien. I really want an authentic Alien film.
Yes.
The film with that alien feeling. Realistically, there's not been one since Aliens.
No.
So there's not really been one since the first Alien, but Aliens was enjoyable nonetheless.
It was the action version.
It was, and I've got no issue with that. Aliens was good.
Yeah,
but
it's
unfortunately, 3 and onwards weren't. So
director's cut of 3, fair enough. It was better than what came out, but still not anything special.
And see, I really want an authentic Alien film, so
yeah,
this is the thing that's annoying me as well. But Ridley Scott said that he's going to, announce or reveal reveal who created the aliens. But I think people have always assumed that it was just.
You could just see shadow on your face, and I don't know what you think. Sorry, either way, it's going to be shadow on your face a bit.
I think a lot of people have assumed it was what are they called now? The things they created. The engineers obviously created humanity and also created the Xenomorphs. But
obviously, well, it might still be them. It might just be showing how they did it.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's not necessarily canon, but if you watch Alien vs Predator, the Predators created the aliens for hunting purposes.
It'd be quite funny if that was Ridley Scott's.
It would actually be funny if he got the Predators in Prometheus 2.
Yeah, it was the Predators did it.
Prometheus wasn't even that good a film, really.
No, people slammed Prometheus. The thing is, I
still enjoyed it, but it just wasn't right.
I enjoyed it. I think it's more enjoyable if you try and see it as a completely separate entity to the Alien series, which is impossible because obviously it is.
And another thing that annoyed me about Prometheus as well was like the fact that the engineer, or as we called them in like Alien and stuff like that, the space jockeys, the engineer wasn't the engineers weren't even as large as the space jockey was in when we see the armour or whatever it is in the original Alien film. I'm sorry if you keep seeing shadows on Mike's face, by the way. It's just the way we've got the light and everything. You see my hands moving.
So who would you want to have created the aliens?
Humans. No, I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was humans.
I don't know.
I think Ridley Scott will get to the end of the film and it'll just be like God did it.
Yeah, God did it. He created him.
That'll be the get out clause of the movie. I think it makes more sense when it is the engineers, but I kind of think a lot of people are as well are expecting maybe that, or they've always expected it to be that. But it could well be, or it could well be some one or something that we've not experienced or seen yet. Could be anybody.
Could be.
Could be me.
Could be you. Might be Mike.
Might be me. Heard it here first. Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert. It was Mike all along, that bastard.
I tried to create sex slaves, but instead I created the xenomorphs. It was a really bad attempt.
And I say that really didn't work out well, did it?
I made him out of clay, but I was like Patrick Swayze in Ghost, but like worse. I was like hammering the clay.
That really wasn't successful then. Doing that.
I think I made.
Why did you put acid in them, for God's sake? It's a fetish gone wrong, that.
I kind of wanted like a feisty woman, a woman that would spit bile, but I kind of made
feisty woman that looked like a penis with fucking acid in it.
I said I'm really shit at clay modelling. That's where the error is here. I dropped the model before I went in the kiln of life. And
H.R. Geiger or Giger, however you pronounce it, he picked it up and decided, I can use this. Yeah, what I was just going to ask though was Lindelof part of Prometheus?
Yeah, he wrote this. Didn't he write the script?
Which is where the fuck ups came from then, because everything that he's involved in is ruined one way or another.
I think we right. If you're listening, Lindelof, right? I really like Lost, and you ruined it for us.
And
I tell you what, son,
everything else you touch. What was that?
Apart from yourself.
He probably ruins himself.
I'm joking. I've never really hated Lindelof that much. I kind of like the more weird aspects of Lost, apart from it kind of went a bit. It lost its focus, and that was the thing that I'm most angry about Lindelof for. I'm not angry about.
And that's why it was called Lost.
It did get lost, but I'm not angry about the ending. Like a lot of people, I'm just angry that it went for walkabouts.
I never got into Lost. I've not seen it from season 1 to season 1 million, whatever it fucking ended on. I've seen
not as much as Chuck.
Basically half of season 1, and then I thought, this is shit.
It's almost. I think it's worth watching the first 2 seasons. It's and in that there's obviously an incredibly detailed and odd origin story of the island and that, but we're not going to go into that. Even though we are talking about origin stories, I've got a bit of beef I want to get out here as well. Something that's really fucking irritating me.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the internet, in relation to Episode 7, Star Wars, if you didn't know.
Not Lost Episode
Not Lost. 7. Star Wars, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, saying that Luke Skywalker may be Kylo Ren. He isn't. Stop saying that. You're retarded.
Don't be really stupid. It's like, I'm a fan of Star Wars. I'm not a massive fan. I don't know everything about it. I've not read like the millions of books that Mike has. I don't have like the collection of stuff that Mike has. But I'm still a fan of it, and even I don't fucking think about the old Kylo Ren is Luke. That's bullshit.
It's more.
Don't be stupid.
It's more the fact that they've released facial pictures of, Kylo Ren without his mask. So it's obviously Adam Driver.
Yeah.
He has long hair. He's about a foot taller than Mark Hamill, and not as podgy in his old age.
Yeah.
It's just not him. And if you think it is, you should be euthanized. It isn't him. Categorically, it is not him. And if it is, then I'm not sure what I'll do on...
Euthanized?
Euthanized, yeah.
I thought it was euthanized. Or am I wrong there?
I thought it was euthanized.
I don't know. Leave it in the comments. But either way, I don't think you should be killed for it.
I'll give you a bit of leeway.
I think you should do your fucking research, but I don't think you should be killed for it. But Kylo Ren's not Luke. He's not. He's just not Luke. It's simple.
They will be related.
Yeah, they will be related. There's no doubt about it. They're more than likely. Well, they will be related. But they're not going to be the same person. No way.
No.
They're going to be the same person.
Have you got any origin stories apart from the Nightmare on Elm Street that is a paedophile?
He's not a paedophile.
No, I'm saying any origin stories that you really do not like, that you've really been waiting for, then saw and were
any
like,
origin stories that I don't like.
Or any origin stories that you felt ruined the character.
Leprechaun Origins, Jesus Christ, that film. What the fuck were they thinking? Hornswoggle, I think it is, from WWE, is now playing the Leprechaun instead of Warwick Davis. This is the weird thing. Obviously, we've talked about prequels before, but this is specific to Origins. And Leprechaun Origins just completely destroys everything Leprechaun, like the other Leprechaun films, are.
I've not seen any of the Leprechaun films.
They are comedy, horror gold. The first one was a lot more horror again, like in most horror films, and it's got Jennifer Aniston in it. I think that was her first ever film. But other than that, it's like it gets more comedic as it goes along. And then Leprechaun Origins came out, and I don't know if I honestly don't know if it's the same company that made them. I don't know if it was someone else. I have no idea. Either way, it deserves to be killed in fire and damned in hell for all eternity. Like
the E.T. computer game that was buried en masse in the desert. Should that happen to all copies of
the only problem
that
is
movie?
It's on fucking
it's
on Netflix as well.
And it's probably
all copies
all over the internet. The internet should be purged of its remnants.
Yeah,
really.
See,
I don't think there's ever been any Origins that have completely ruined it for me.
Well, I know of another Origin that I don't like, which is on the remake of Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah, I've not actually seen him, but I was going to mention that as well.
It didn't ruin the original Halloweens for me whatsoever, but it just it made a mockery of, firstly, the slasher genre, secondly, Michael Myers himself. It was like it wanted you to sympathise with him, but in the originals there was no sympathising. He was just a cold-blooded.
I've said it
killer
so many different times. I think
died.
So many times on this. It's not really worth repeating, but
save Constantine.
Save Constantine. I wasn't going to say that, but yeah,
that's what he normally does.
But something I've said a lot is that in a good slasher movie, you really don't want to empathise with the villain. You really want this kind of. If it's scary, it's completely separate. It's something that you don't understand, and that's only, I think, when you can create proper fear. I think is when, because it's kind of not scary if it's just, just a human or just a guy that was knocked about by his mum. Obviously, that's not true for most films, but I think specifically in a slasher movie, I think you need to know as little about the character's origin as possible, really.
That's why, as well, most of the time in slasher movies, they don't let you know who the slasher is until the end. Because then you can't think, oh, well, this character had this done to him, or this character had this done to her. I actually watched Cherry Falls again not long ago. Have you ever seen it?
No.
The late Brittany Murphy is in it. Bless her. But she was really good as well. It's about a villain who basically decides to kill people who are still virgins.
Now I get the title.
Cherry Falls. The whole thing is where everyone has to have sex so they're not killed by the killer. Pretty much it.
It's kind of like a twisted version of It Follows.
Well, it's without the STIs and that. There's no supernatural elements. It's just a deranged psychopath.
It's another reason why I don't want to see any more a follow-up, a prequel or a sequel to It Follows. I don't want to know what the fuck that was about.
You see, I would like to know the origins of it, but
kind of me.
At the same time, I wouldn't.
The more curious side of me would like to, but the film-loving part of me really wouldn't. I kind of feel that it's perfect in isolation, and I think so many films are kind of perfect in isolation. I like the fact that in Let the Right One In, you saw the character when she was, and you never really got any exploration into how she'd lived before, apart from obviously with the Peter file, and he wasn't a novel anyway, wasn't he? Something. I remember his name. And the guy that looked after her was...
Yeah.
Obviously, I really like the fact in that movie that this character's probably lived for hundreds of years and there's no real discussion about who or what she was previously. I think in a...
Well, there are bits where you find out about how she becomes a vampire and that.
Yeah?
Like, you found out about the actual vampiric ritual.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. That's what I mean.
No, I don't mean that.
Spoilers. She was a he.
She was.
Pretty much it, really.
She has nothing.
No, the vampiric ritual in that story, they get the penises cut off, which is really quite worrying.
I remember being in the cinema and being actively shocked when they dropped the camera to the pubic region of a 10-year-old child.
I can't even remember.
There's a scene in it when it drops, when she's getting dressed, when she's getting changed,
Right.
and he peeks through, and it drops down, and obviously where there should be a
Penis or a vagina.
child's bits, there's nothing there. It's just a patch of skin.
Yeah.
That's when a lot of the paedophiles watching left. Some disappointed middle-aged men walked out of the cinema at that point, and women, and young men, and young women walked out of the cinema at that point. Admittedly, that didn't happen, but I would have laughed if it did.
Done.
Maybe know. Somewhere.
Maybe somewhere in the world, someone did actually watch it and go, "Fuck," and just walk out.
Disappointment. Ruin it now. Someone told Big Keith down the road told me that
Keith
down road told me that there was a full frontal shot in this film, and come here 10 past midnight. Fuck
10
all.
past midnight.
That's, to be fair,
in a porn cinema.
No, that's roughly when we went to watch it. Then
what am I even doing here?
I went to watch Let the Right One In. Not just me. I've been creepy. Me and some friends. I think it was like a 11:40 showing or something.
Bloody hell!
Because it was not really shown.
I'd never go to cinema that late.
But it wasn't, because it was a foreign film. It wasn't really shown often. It wasn't a big release, was it? So
there is that. Yeah.
It was shown only a few times.
Oh, yeah, that is one of the main problems with foreign films over here. You never really see them in cinemas anywhere. It's rare to find a decent horror, well, not even horror film, decent foreign film in the cinema.
I think our dislike of a lot of Origins maybe sort of intertwined with our dislike for prequels.
Yeah.
There's some things, some characters you don't want to see when they were younger, or like Dumb and Dumberer. Shit. Some films you don't want to see people before. You don't need to, especially.
You don't need an origin for a lot of people. You just need what you get. Although
I think you do. I don't. You don't need an origin in horror movies. I think as we're going in other types of films, you probably do. But
although we will be saying our own origins at some point, or I will be anyway. Into horror films, that's what I mean. I don't mean like, oh yeah, our parents had sex and gave birth. 9 months later, there you go. I was splish splashed out into the bathroom.
Bathroom?
Yeah, in the bathtub and poo all over me. No, I'm joking. I was born in hospital. Yeah, well, we could say it now if there's not anything else that you want to say about Origins. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Not specifically, no.
So, well, alright, let's move on to our origin stories then. My origin into horror and Mike's origin into either sci-fi or horror, depending on what he wants to talk about, if he wants to talk about any of them at all. Do you want to go first or shall I?
You can, because I think my origin actually probably dovetails into yours.
Oh, okay then.
In a strange way.
My origin into horror films was I was terrified of absolutely everything. I even saw, I've probably told you this before, I know I said it on the podcast that we used to do, but yeah, I was terrified of everything, and I saw the death character on from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I used to be scared of him. Just on a magazine cover, I was scared when Resident Evil first came out, and we saw the massive a massive sign with a zombie where he turns his head in the corridor. But the first time I actually watched a horror film, my actual origins,
I bet it was so scary. I mean, when I was a kid.
What?
And then when the zombie turns his head,
yeah. When I was 4 years old, I was with my mate Darren, and I went round to his house. I actually remember what we had for tea. This is
the beans and sausage.
This is the biggest impression it's had on me. I can actually even remember what I had for tea there. We had cow pie, and he told me it was cow heart and brains, and I believed him, and I still ate it, and I really fucking enjoyed it. But we watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was obviously terrified of it still. But I kept going back to it, and we kept re-watching it, watching as many sequels as were out at the time. I believe it was almost all of them. I think only New Nightmare wasn't out at the time. I think that came out in '94. But I kept watching them, and I started getting more used to them. I was still obviously scared of everything as I grew older. I was still scared of certain things, even though I was more used to horror. Because obviously Bill and Ted, I think, came out in '92, Resident Evil '96, '97. So I was still scared of the odd thing.
Did Resident Evil come out on the Saturn first, or was it simultaneous?
I think it was simultaneous with PS1.
I think it was '96, by the way, but
96, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I basically watched all of them, started enjoying them even though I was still scared of them. Eventually, I actually bought the VHS of Wes Craven's New Nightmare when it came out, and I dropped it as we was leaving the store, and I think because of me dropping it, when me and Darren first watched that film, it was flickery as fuck, but we still loved it anyway, and never looked back since, really. And then obviously with, like I said, even though I was still scared, I did just get more and more used to things, and I'm not really scared of any horror things anymore. I get creeped out, but I'm not really scared of them anymore. That's pretty much it, really.
Mine's probably dull, because I don't really have the love of horror to have a specific...
We can say about sci-fi
specific memory
like that as well, if you want. Anything,
I think I'll do horror. I think you probably got me into horror, probably in a similar way, probably.
Right, basically, I used to go around to Mike's house. Like, my mum used to pay his mum to look after me when I was a kid. So I used to go around to Mike's, and did I force you to watch horror films or play horror games and stuff?
I think you forced me to. I think we watched Nightmare on Elm Street at some point.
Fair enough.
I think it was but I never really had. My childhood memories of horror very heavily centred around computer gaming rather than films, like the first Resident Evil. I've got strong memories of that. Again, being genuinely scared when the zombie first turns his head, and genuinely scared when you realise that
when the dogs jump through the window.
The fact that you control like a tank, a heavy tank as well. The fact that you've got so little ammunition and constant threats. And I think that was the first game that truly scared me. Two onwards didn't. I think 2 was probably scarier than 3 and 4 and 5.
I think.
And 6.
But that might be one of the reasons why I think 2 is one of the best games as well, because once you get over the initial fear,
I think 2's perfect
really
balance between 1 and 3. I think there's more weapons than there is in 1, more ammunition.
It's like Alien in Aliens. The second one's more action.
But 3 is like over the top action though.
Yeah, 3's over the top. 3 just gets silly.
It becomes too easy.
You've
3.
got to run away from Nemesis a lot, or kill him. If you don't die first.
Crazy amount of weapons, whether it's assault rifles or rocket launchers.
I do remember you playing Silent Hill 2 at your house.
Like that again, the first Silent Hill, and then Silent Hill 2 is probably a landmark.
One of the main things
memory
that sticks out in memory for me. I'm really sorry, I've got an itchy nose. I've not got burgers or anything. One of the main things that sticks out for me about Silent Hill 2 were you playing it. was I have this random memory
On a drink, but
of being at Mike's with him playing it, and it was the elevator part where an announcer comes on, and you also open a door at the top, and the massive head's inside, or it's down the corridor. I can't remember which, something like that. But I remember that. It's one thing that I do remember.
I remember, like a lot of people, the pyramid. A lot of the pyramid head bits. That was, genuinely, I think, scary.
Is the giant head in Silent Hill 2? Is it Silent Hill 2?
I don't know.
I
can't remember. I genuinely can't remember.
Mixed up, or if it is the same game. But so that was basically your introduction to horror.
I think with films, it was you probably showed me horror movies. Whether it was coming to your house, I think, because I couldn't. Right. I couldn't watch them at my house. My mum was way too. I think I was probably well into my teens by the fact that by the time she would accept me watching Halloween movies. I think in terms of movies, believe it or not,
nearly punched my glasses.
My
off the face,
proper way into horror movies was the Halloween series and the full Halloween series.
I remember you always loving Halloween.
We earned. It's before H20.
Yes, not H2O.
Before H20 was out, and the shocking one after that, which I watched a few nights, which I watched last week, and it was equal. It was as dire.
I remember when Resurrection came out, and I actually, I'm going to admit to something here. I bought it illegally. I bought it on a copied DVD that they were selling down at the market, and
how dare you?
Jesus Christ! I'm glad I didn't spend more money on it.
I had a very sim. I don't know if I downloaded it. I don't know if we had a dodgy copy or whether. That was quite normal then, having dodgy DVD copies.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
The local market.
You don't really. You can still get them. But
I think people just torrent, don't they?
Yeah.
Not something I do, but I know people.
I don't do it anymore. Now I watch everything on Netflix, or I've just joined Amazon Prime, so I watch stuff on there as well now.
See, I'm really not sure if it was really, if I was that bothered about horror movies before the Halloween series and the Halloween series. I remember watching Night of the Living Dead, and there's loads of other films like is it Return of the Living Dead?
Yeah, there's Return of the Living Dead.
The Children of the Living Dead.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
There's a few like B-movie versions. I don't know. Obviously not Romero sequels, but I'm gonna have to look into this.
There was always unofficial sequels to Night of the Living Dead.
I think it might have been some of them.
There was a few different ones.
I remember once we got like a box set of like 50 DVDs. They were legit, but they were all just really shit. Basically, you could buy like collections of.
Return of the Living Dead
shit.
now. It's not exactly rare or worth a lot, but it's worth a lot more than it was back then.
It wasn't a separate disc. It was just on a compilation.
Oh right, okay.
I think you still buy them in like the pound shop.
Yeah.
Discs with like 6 films on or something, and we used to have loads of them. And they were
the works you can get.
Them, and it was full of absolute shite. But there was like a horror disc, and it was mostly crap. But there was Return of the Living Dead, and the other ones I just can't remember.
Yeah.
And I loved them, but they were shit. But the Halloween movies, then that's my way into horror.
I do Resident Evil. That was one thing that I liked about me, you, and Rooney, our good friend Rooney, who basically grown up with as well. I was always Nightmare on Elm Street. Mike was always Halloween, and Rooney was always Friday the 13th.
Halloween's the best.
I disagree, but I do have random memories of as well. I actually traded.
I think the first Halloween is better than
the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. But I think as a series.
Oh, as
a series, the other two are actually probably better than Halloween. I think Halloween
as a series, definitely for Nightmare on Elm Street is the best.
Definitely,
100%. That's
100%. Yeah, definitely. But I feel that
because even though it got silly and a bit shit, it was still better than fucking Friday the 13th was all over the place.
Yeah,
and Halloween just got worse and worse as it went along.
Apart from the
same with
the Beacon that was
not in the same way.
Donald Pleasance, he got really shit. I used to love them, but they were crap. They went downhill in all fairness after the first 2 Halloween films.
3 Halloween films.
The
third is a brilliant.
I class myself as a huge, well not huge, as a big Halloween fan.
But you've never seen 3.
Never seen 3.
It's really, honestly, if you watched it now, you didn't. I think you'd really enjoy it.
I want to watch it. I will watch it.
But yeah, I remember trading. I think it was Mighty Max toys and stuff like that I actually traded with Darren, for all of his VHS tapes of A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I still have them. I do still. I've now got them on Blu-ray, but I've still got those VHS because they hold such a dear place in my heart. I remember going to our good mate Brett's house as well. We watched Nightmare on Elm Street 3 there, and me and him snuck into his brother's room and took out stink bombs and threw them all around the house. And his parents, his mum wasn't exactly happy with that, and neither was the dog. Bless her. Well, bless them, I guess. Another origin story for us to tell you as well is how we actually got into doing this. Because what we used to do, as I said,
is make homemade porn movies.
I used to go around to Mike's as a child. That'd be really, really wrong.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
We never did that. No, I used to go around to Mike's as a child, and I don't know where we got the idea from.
I used to do it anyway, believe it or not. I used to do it with
Oh, so here we go. This is where we got the idea from then. So it was Mike's idea.
Me and my brothers used to do it anyway, even though they were all, much younger than me, so they could just talk. And I used to do it on my own as well. We used to have a
cassette tapes,
old rectangular cassette player, basically, and the thing came out the front.
If you don't know what cassettes are, Google it if you're too young.
And then you put the cassette in and you record on the blank tapes. And we used to record effectively what used to be like a radio broadcast, wasn't it? We used to like create our
we used
radio
to do
shows.
Random shite. We would talk about random crap.
Pretty much like a primitive podcast,
we used to talk about Isla Fisher because we thought she was attractive.
So that's attractive.
She is. The one from Home and Away or Neighbours. No, Home and Away. We never watched Neighbours. No. And Scooby Doo. She is still attractive. I remember we used to talk about her and Christina Ricci or Richie, however you want to pronounce it, from Casper, and Adam's Family.
We used to. Yeah, they were like primitive podcasts, really. We used to.
Yeah, we used to. I don't really remember what we spoke about properly. I do remember we spoke about women off TV like them two, who we thought were attractive, but then I'm sure we did speak about other random crap. More than likely a few horror things as well, like Silent Hill.
Then we used to. Then we did the podcasts randomly. Yeah. Probably 15 or so, probably more years later.
Probably around. Well, yeah.
We used to
upwards, nearly up to 20 years later.
We used to then do the
moved on to podcasts.
Then we
no idea why. We just I don't know if it was me getting in touch with you.
Your idea, I think.
Just saying, do you want to do a podcast? And we just thought, fuck it, let's do one. I think tell a lie. I do know why. That's because I was listening to a lot of Kevin Smith podcasts at the time. And he kept saying, if I can do it, why can't you? So I just thought, well, fair enough, let's do it. Obviously, podcasts we've retired for now. I'm not saying they will forever be retired. And then we started doing videos for your viewing pleasure of our ugly mugs and my stupidly spiky short hair.
Probably can't see.
I really need to shave it again. And my scraggly beard. Look how much I can brush it out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those were our origin stories. I think we'll just leave it there, I guess. Yeah. It's quite a short episode. Tell us your origins into horror or sci-fi or anything else.
Nothing illegal.
Nothing illegal, no. Anything you want, though, that is legal, just pop a comment down below and let us know what your origins are.
Subscribe too.
Like and subscribe if you could, please. Subscribe, I believe. We'll see you next week.